I am Cindy Winter, NCFR Conference Consultant, and I'm going to walk you through the process of submitting your proposal. All the proposals are submitted online through Oxford Abstracts, which is the NCFR online submission database. Before you submit online, we want you to look at the proposal submission checklist on pages 3 and 4 of the call for proposals on the NCFR website. We encourage you to prepare your materials and required information before you start submitting your proposal online. This will save you a lot of time as you complete the submission process. So very soon there will be a link right here on the NCFR website that will direct you right to the Oxford database. To begin the submission process, click the link on the NCFR website and log in. And the first screen says enter your email to log in or register. I'm going to do this. So I'm doing this, and because I submitted last year, I'm already in the database, and right now I remember my password, so I will put it in, and we will log it. Then click on login, and it comes up with the form for this year, and then we'll go from there. If you have forgotten your password from last year, then these are the steps that you need to take. So first of all, we'll put in the email, and then we've forgotten it, so we click on forgotten my password, and then enter the registration email, and it says send me a reset email. And it says we have sent you an email. Click that link in that email to change your password. Here is the sample email that came out. It says you can log in here. So click on the link and it will direct you, and you put in your new password. And then we repeat it. And reset. And it says your password has successfully changed. Now you click on go back to login, and then we do it again. And we put in the password, click login. Now, if you get a weird mail like this, copy the email, the URL that's up there, and paste it in, and there you will get into the submission database for this year to do a submission. If you have never submitted before to the NCFR conference, you will get this same email that says login or register. So we are going to start a new one. And it says create your account. So the first thing you're going to do is repeat the email. Okay, and title, doctor, and then we'll type in a name here, and you have to have a password then of at least 6 characters. And then you repeat your password. All right. if you receive this weird message, copy and paste the URL and it will start over again. And then up will come your submission form. Okay, now that whether you have entered before in the NCFR system or you're starting over, you are now able to make a new submission. It indicates that the fields are mandatory if they have an asterisk. And so the first thing that happens is a message. And then the one thing you can read through that as you begin the system. And then we want you to be aware that anything sent from oxfordabstracts.com is a safe sender, or otherwise it may end up in your spam or it may even disappear. So be sure that these are safe senders. Okay, the next field is authors and employers, which indicates the field is mandatory. Begin by filling out the author's biographical information. You won't be able to complete the submission process until all this information is completed. This information is needed when NCFR applies to other organizations to offer continuing education hours. Now, the information needed for presenting authors and discussants is different from the information needed for co-authors. And there'll be an explanation here up in here. So now as we begin, the next fields are, you're going to fill in the information here. And then you fill in all of these. Now, for the presenting author and the discussant, if you were submitting a symposium, you must check this box, the presenting box. Either you or one of the co-authors, but there must be a check in one of the presenting boxes or it just will not work. And so this is the first author, so this is required, and we fill out the current job title, current department, and the institution from which your highest degree was earned. And licenses are not required for here. Her email popped up already, the discipline, and the highest degree earned. Now, so those were the required fields because she is the first author. Okay, then we go to the affiliation, and you will fill out this information for her. The employer, and this is, that's okay, St. Paul. Okay. And then Minnesota. And the country is a pull-down menu, and you'll notice that USA and Canada are listed first because that's where most of our submissions come from. Okay, now we're going to add a second author, and for all the co-authors in here, we're going to say add another author. And so for here, I'm just going to add myself. And because I am a co-author, I do not need to fill out anything except the first and last names, email address, and the email and the university. I'm not going to present, and so the current job title, you can just key in NA for any of the things that the fields that aren't applicable if it's a required position. If it's not a mandatory, then you don't need to put anything in. And so the email, Okay, and the highest degree earned, just put an NA in here. And then you go into the affiliations. And that is, we do want that. Okay, we're not going to add any other authors. So then we go to the next question, which is student, new professional, and professional status. And we want to know whether the first, you as the submitting author, are an undergraduate or graduate, master's student, doctoral student, new professional, or professional. We're going to do profession. I'm going to put a doctoral student here because if this question is for a student, if the proposal is for a student, the sections need to look at this to determine some awards. And so is this proposal a result of the student's thesis, dissertation, or other research project? And if it is, say yes. Okay. Then we go to the preferred presentation format. And we have so many different presentation formats, and it's all explained in the information there. And you can choose you have to choose one. And so we're going to put a symposium here. And if you want to, you can do a second one maybe that would be a paper. And when you get into the unacceptable, you can choose whatever you want, but caution you, don't put in this 2 that you've already selected. So here we could go lightning paper, poster, symposium, and so forth. But you do not want symposium or paper to be selected there. Now, the one caution that we have is that the more formats that you have, the more likely it will be that it will be accepted for proposal if your scores are high enough. So if you just want one format, there may not be room in that, or your paper may not fit, or anything like that. So be sure you have several options, because everything is considered the same as far as equal value. Okay, your next mandatory question is going to be your title. And it can be up to 125 characters. And so you can just fill in anything. And then the next question is a short abstract. And here you have 120, you can go up to 125 words. You'll notice that a red box that says incomplete will pop up. So the minute you start typing something in, it will disappear and you'll be all set. Okay, now the next question we're going to talk about is a new one if you have a symposium, which we do for this particular one. And so what we want you to do is, this is a question that's going to help the reviewers and section chairs better learn the full information about that proposal. It asks you to list each individual paper title with the names of the authors and co-authors of each presentation and the name of your discussant, moderator, facilitator, chair, whatever positions you have in there. Now, this material, you can just put something in. I'm just going to kind of do like we did before, paper 1 and paper 2 and so forth. Okay, and then we'll put in the discussant and the chair. Now, this information, when you have it in your long proposal, you can just copy and paste that right into this spot and save yourself having to type. Next 3 mandatory questions are about the proposal's measurable objectives. Be sure that they are specific objectives that your audience will learn and take away from your presentation. So you must submit 3. So we'll just type in something. And again, all 3 of these questions, it will start out with a red box that says incomplete, but as you type in something, the red box will disappear. Same thing with the second and the third. Okay. Now, the next question is your proposal focus. Now, is this a qualitative study, research study, quantitative, mixed methods, systematic, literature review, pedagogical, or theoretical approach? Now, if you choose qualitative, quantitative, or mixed method study, then you must answer the next question, which asks the specific methodology of your research study. And this we need in helping for determining the best reviewers for your proposal. So in here, I'm just going to put, okay. Now, the next one is your proposal orientation. Whether your proposal is basically research-oriented or practice-oriented. And I'm going to put practice for now. Now, we have additional questions this year, which are going to, again, help the section chairs determine the best reviewers for proposals that are either practitioner-oriented, submitted to the family policy and family therapy sections. So if it's a practitioner, does the proposed presentation include specific practice recommendations? We'll say yes. If the proposal is being submitted to the family policy section, does it clearly articulate policy context or policy implications? And again, you'd choose a yes or a no. If the proposal is submitted to the family therapy section, then it's asking if your proposal includes clinical data, and special consideration will be offered for the proposals that include clinical data. Okay, the next part the next questions are on the subject codes. These that best describe the focus of your proposal. It's a long pull-down menu in alpha order. Be sure to scroll down through the list to find the subject codes that best fit your proposal. Only one is required, but the more subject codes you have helps to identify the best reviewers. So we can just go in under anything, adolescence. Maybe the next one would be anxiety. And the third one would be applied research or whatever. Okay, now the next part is really important on the preferred section where you wish to submit your proposal. It's a mandatory question so that we know where your proposal best fits. NCFR has 10 sections that promote NCFR's mission and the common interests of the NCFR members in specified family areas. You need to submit your proposal to one of these sections, or for students and new professionals, or the theory, construction, and research methodology pre-conference workshop for review. Now, the theory, construction, or affiliated councils, if you want to submit there, then they have a separate submission process that doesn't go through this method. Now, if you're unsure about which sections to submit to, check pages 6 through 12 of the call for proposals for a description of the sections. And then the instructions here tell you about how to select your section. So we're just going to select one. Okay, now here, the next question, you can you can make some comments to section chairs and reviewers. It's not required, but if there's something that you think would be significant in helping the chairs or the reviewers know what is specific about your proposal, you can put something in there. Okay, now we load our long proposal. And there's explicit instructions here. And remember that only PDF documents can be uploaded. And if you have questions about saving a PDF, contact me and I can help you through the process. So we'll go, there's just all kinds of instructions here. And there are special instructions also if for setting up your long proposal for a symposium. And these are all in the call for proposals and on here too. So then the next thing you will do is to load your proposal. So you will choose a file. Which one is it? From here, that's a PDF. And you open it. And there will be the red box. And as soon as it has loaded into the system, it will say download previously uploaded file. And you know that it's all set. Okay, the next questions are important. Author approval, another required one. You have to confirm that this proposal has been approved by all authors. Now, your proposal status, if we prefer, but require that proposals contain information that's never been published or presented prior to the submission and won't be presented or published prior to this 2019 conference. And so there's two questions to choose. Either no, the proposal hasn't been published or won't. But if it says, if you choose yes, then you must answer this next question, which explains why and that. The same thing happens with the commercial interests. If there's a way that you would have commercial interests or associations that would pose a conflict of interest regarding this submission, you would check there. And if you check it, then you must write in the details as to how there is the conflict of interest. If you don't check this box, then you don't need to do anything with it. Now the next one is permission to publish. And this gives NCFR permission to reproduce short abstracts of your submission in publications or online for educational and promotional purposes. And you also give permission to record, live stream, and sell audio and video materials. And you agree to your abstract being published on the website prior to the conference. The next question is, please check this box and you agree to the following. And there's 6 different questions and statements and that you need to agree to. Okay, then we have some additional questions being asked this year. Are you interested in becoming a reviewer? This is something that is not required, but if you are, you know that the reviews must be done between March 13th and the 31st. You're going to receive an email with a link to the reviewer database, and you need to fill out this information after receiving the email. This email is not going to come immediately, but it will come sometime this month. So if you click yes, that you are interested, then you'll get further instructions later this month. Okay, now suggested names and emails of colleagues who would make excellent conference proposal reviewers. So if you think of somebody, it's not a necessary, it's totally optional, but you can put that in. Okay, the last question is, email me when the conference registration opens. And if you do, you'll get an email. So then there's information, and it tells you that you'll get your notification by June 1st. Now, click on Submit. And it may lead you to right here where it lists all of your proposals. And then you can either amend at any time before March 4th. You can click on a new submission and that. Now, in some cases, you may be redirected, and that will show a summary of your proposal. And there again, you can review and amend your proposal as necessary. So remember that all submissions and changes to the proposals must be completed by March 4th, 11:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Don't hesitate to call me or email me if you have questions as you proceed. You'll be notified by June 1st, and good luck with the whole proposal.